So, welcome to another, I guess, welcome to our platform. Well, getting ready for bed. As you know, it's breadcrumbs, and it's just things that might keep us up or things we might think about in the bed. And once you sweep the crumbs out of the bed, you're able to lay down, take naps, go to sleep, get rest. You know, um, as I fed my baby and I was looking at her, like I said, she just turned 7 months today. I was looking at her and someone asked me, how do I feel? Since I've been assaulted, back to back, my baby got assaulted, people was asking me how I feel. Well, it's not a good feeling, I just feel like in life, everything happens for a reason. We tend to sometimes be nice to people that don't need you being nice to them. Um, when I got assaulted by the chaplain, I had called the police like weeks before because he threatened to, do it. And I was trying to explain to the police over the phone my situation, and they told me that I should be happy somebody's helping me. So nothing was done. I just wanted somebody to talk to him and let him know that him putting his hands on me wasn't an option. Neither was putting his hands on my baby. That wasn't an option, and that's what he threatened. And I guess he got beside himself. So when it comes to the system, I feel like sometimes when people call the police before something happens, nothing is done. They brush the situation off. And then something happens, and then they come back, and then they try to, apologize and try to help, But before things happen, they don't do anything. They just be like, well, is that what that person's word against that person's word, And I understand the concept and everything, but when somebody's telling you they really need help and somebody's trying to do something to them, just because the situation is not irate at the moment doesn't mean that a person can't come in and defuse the situation. After my landlord choked me, at first I started laughing because I just couldn't believe what happened. I didn't even know what happened at first because I just woke up and I was looking at the sky, my hands stretched out to thee, as if I'm on the cross. That's how I was laid out. And he was standing there. I think he was scared because he thought he killed me, which he did, because you choked me till I passed out. My fluids left my body, My baby was in there by herself. Nobody would have known anything. And he was just standing there in shock. And then when I woke up, that's when he started back, like, being, I guess, himself, but in a scared type of way. Like, she finna call the police on me. Stuff like that. I guess he was scared. But me, personally, I was definitely calling the police. If I could have got in that living room and put my phone on the charger and it popped right up, 911 was going to be called. And I was going to be fighting to call them. I probably would have picked my baby up off the floor and walked outside and called 911. But he just wouldn't let me by, And I felt the way that I have always felt, that I'm not safe around a black man. I'm not. That's how that made me feel, because every time I was assaulted, it has been a black man. An angry black man that's mad at his mom, mad at his sisters, mad at his exes, mad at his baby mama, mad at somebody. Just not mad at me because I didn't do it. But I'm the one they take it out on, because everybody said, oh, you think you white. Oh, you think you all that. Oh, you think you perfect. Well, I must be perfect, because you don't see me walking around hurting people. You don't see me walking around with ill intent for others. You don't see me walking around trying to con people out of whatever they have. You don't see me bad mouthing people all the time. You don't see me doing anything negative. So guess what? I am perfect. I'm perfect in God's eyes. I don't have to be perfect in man's eyes. I don't. I don't have to be perfect in man's eyes. As long as I know that I'm not doing anything wrong, that's all that matters. And people always try to paint a bad picture of me because they want me to feel like they feel. And it's not going to happen. When a person is trying to paint a bad picture of me, I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to agree with it. I'm not going to go with it. I'm not going to sit there and allow it to keep happening. Yes, I'm going to let them say it, but I can simply say, I don't believe that. I don't believe this person said this. I don't believe that person did that and towards me. If I know, so that's how I am. I don't always got to go back and forth and tit for tat and negativity with others, because I know, as long as I know, that's all that matters. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm always under attack by somebody. Why? Jealousy and envious. Jealousy and envious. And I can see it. I can smell it. And I just don't care. I know people be being jealous and envious, and I just don't care. I don't give it my attention. I just let them do it. When people say things about me, I be like, okay, but I don't believe it. I don't believe that happened. You can say I did. I'm saying I don't believe I did that. I don't remember me doing it like that, and I'm not going to claim it. Because I know how lies are. I know people lie. I know people lie. I do. And when I start talking like that, I know it's a lie. When I'm like, I don't believe that, and I don't remember doing nothing like that, and I know it's a lie. I know whatever the person has said to me, whatever they brought to me, whatever has surfaced, it's a lie. I can say how it's a lie, but I don't feel like going back and forth, so I can just say, I don't remember doing nothing like that, or I don't remember saying this, or I ain't do that, I can say those things because that's my way of not arguing. Just say, I don't know and I don't remember. Because I don't want to go back and forth with somebody about absolutely nothing. So a lot of people try to argue with me, and then I just shut it down, or I just let them have it and say what they want to say, because it's not even worth my breath. It's not worth my breath. It's not worth my time. I think my time is valuable. I'd rather be with my baby sitting around doing nothing, waiting on her, instead of going back and forth with somebody about nothing. About absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I feel like starting my own organization for crisis and domestic violence and abuse, because when I call these crisis hotlines, these women on the other end are nasty. They have nasty attitudes. They have horrible dispositions. And you're supposed to be on the crisis side. Now, if I was a weak person, they would have pushed me off the bridge. Certain people, when they're going through something and they don't have nobody, they take their own life. Thank God I have a strong mental state, and I'm not thinking about harming myself or nobody else. I just know that these people are full of crap. They want to give assistance to their friends and their family members who don't need assistance. They abuse the system. I remember when after the chaplain had did what he did, after he had attacked us, I was talking to this one crisis hotline, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get through. The phone was just ring, 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 ring. I guess they knew my phone number, and they weren't answering the phone. And then I got to a place, I got to a hotel, and then I had called this one shelter, and it's supposed to be a abuse or domestic violence prevention center. I call them. She was, what do you need? I'm like, whoa. Is there somebody else I could talk to? No. What do you need, ma'am? And I was like, you know what? The way you're talking to me is a little hard, and I feel like talking to you will push me in my feelings in a way that I don't want to be. So I'm just gonna hang up. And I did. Because she was not I had already been through something. You are not about to treat me like this. This is totally unacceptable. So then, after my landlord attacked me and partially killed me for the moment he had me all strung out on that table, I called the hotline, and the lady told me that they didn't have any room and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. And she's like, but you can call back and anybody can talk to you. And I was like, okay. And I told her I had called before, and the lady was mean and she was nasty to me, and they were trying to figure out the system, who I talked to. And I was like, all right. Then I had let her go. So then I started calling 211. Couldn't get through to 211. I couldn't get through to nobody. I called another domestic violence hotline. Couldn't get through to that. And it's like the phone just kept ringing. And I'm like, what if I was like on this was my last straw, and I can't get nobody? What would I do? Where would I go? That's crazy. And then like a couple of days ago, somebody asked me to call this crisis hotline, and so I can do an intake to get help. I called the crisis hotline. She tells me ain't no guarantee I'm gonna get no help, and then she gonna call me back. And when I was trying to tell her, the person who told me to call, she kept cutting me off. Did you make a police report? What happened again? When did it happen? And that's how she was acting and talking to me. Like, she was already irritated. Like, why are you irritated? This is my first time calling you. And I said, I'm calling to do intake to get help. It's not an intake. It's called an assessment. And I'm like, ooh. I know she was cracking her neck like that. And I was like, dang, I know her neck hurt. She was very nasty. And then somebody said, well, who did you talk to? I was like, I don't know. Let me call back and get the person's name. So I called back to get her name. And I said, hi, I'm such. I just called. I was just calling back to ask, are you the same young lady I talked to? She was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I just wanted to ask what your name was. What is your name? And I was like, I said my name again, because I'm nice. I'm a nice person. No matter who's being ignorant with me, I'm still going to be nice. And I told her my name again. Then she told me her name nastily. And she said, and I'm still going to call you back. And I was like, okay, thank you. But people that act like that, it make it hard for people who are really in situations and need and want help. It's very hard. It's very hard to call somebody knowing that you're already in the situation and have the people that you're calling be nasty to you. Have people that you're calling treat you any kind of way. Like you came in their house and did something to them, like you did something personal to them. And you probably don't even know that person. Yep, that's what I've been going through. And I've been through a lot when it comes to being attacked by men. A lot. They all say I think I'm all that, and that's why they attack me. Women, I guess they attack me a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, if I go into a building and I need to handle business, I won't get the business handled. If it's a black girl behind the desk, I won't get the business handled. If it's a white woman behind the desk, she gonna try to be helpful. Unless somebody put a bug in her ear, then she gonna try to be rejected. But when it's a black female, I get no help. It's been a couple of times I applied for assistance and the person was black on the phone. They just try to make me go through a lot that they won't make the next person go through. When they look at me, they look me up and down, they're like, And I'm like, what did I do? I just walked in the building. As soon as I walk in the building, black women do. And I'm looking like, I know she see me seeing her do that face at me. And I still be like, good morning. or good afternoon, introduce myself and my business for being wherever she got to be at. Yeah. But it hurts to know that everybody can sit up and call me racist and call me a racist and say that I don't like black people because I say I'm not pro-black and I don't want to be in no black relationship because they like to fight each other and then go back to loving each other. Fake love, like fake news, fake love. I don't want that. If somebody's gonna love me, they just gonna love me. I don't want nobody to beat me to love me. You gotta beat me first to love me. Look at my eyes. You think I want somebody to do that to my eyes again? No. I don't like that. Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. I got a GoFundMe set up because, of the house fire and then me being displaced, so if anybody wants to contribute, help or anything, reach out to me up on my videos in the comments or just look up my GoFundMe. It says Princess, Queen and Princess. And I also post it in the bio so it can be seen. But, yeah. I'm in an unfamiliar place. So that's why everything is the way that it is. And I don't have any motion. If I was in a familiar place, I would have motion because I usually do guys' hair. I don't do females' hair. I used to do guys' hair because they're easy to get along with and deal with. You can spend 10 hours, 12 hours doing a woman hair, and she gonna try not to pay you. 12 hours doing her hair, she gonna tell you she don't like it, so she can cut you back out of your money. A woman, a black female, will let you finish her hair and then tell you she don't want to pay because she don't like it. But it could be exactly what she asked for. And I'm not racist. It's just these things happen. Yeah, but now that I got that out of my system. Oh, and another thing. When the police left that guy, the landlord in the house with me, I thought I was going to die. I thought he was going to try to do something else to me because he kept threatening me, saying that he was going to come in there and beat the F out of me. He kept saying that if he came in there and beat me up, that they was just going to give him a citation or he'll be out in the morning. But why would you want to beat on me? You just choked me. And you lied to the police, say you ain't choked me. He had no right putting his hand on me. Because I ain't put my hands on him. And if y'all look at the video that I posted of that live, you will hear me say, can you stop touching me? Can you stop touching me? Can you stop touching me? Can you stop touching my phone? Because he was poking me. He was poking me in my arm. Trying to make me react. But I just wasn't reacting. I was just can you stop touching me? Can you stop touching me? Can you stop touching me? Every time he touched me, I asked him to stop touching me. He was touching me. He told the police it didn't happen. But that's the video. That's the video. I didn't deserve it. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody can say it's my fault. It's my fault because I moved there. I wanted a place for me and my baby. It's my fault that I moved there. But you can never know somebody's intentions if you don't know them. And I didn't know him. I just met him on the 3rd when I signed the lease. And he assaulted me on the 28th. Yeah. But this is good night for us. My baby is already sleeping. And I have released anything that I could for the night so that I can go to sleep. Because sometimes things make me stay up. And now that I have this platform, I can get on here and vent and let it out so I can go to sleep. So, with that being said, good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, have a nice day, have a nice night, And until next time, put God first, you second, and everything else and everybody else will fall in place.